God is speaking to you now. Listen slowly. This is not a promise of a little more. This is the beginning of a season of multiplication. Receiving has been a moment in your life. Now God is inviting you into a season where what you already possess begins to grow on its own. You remember when your resources barely covered the essentials. You remember the nights you counted coins and wondered if it was fair. You were faithful in the little. You stewarded what you had, even when it felt scarce. You learned patience. You learned restraint. You learned boundaries. Because you matured, you are being entrusted with more. This multiplication will not arrive with frenzy. It arrives like a quiet tide. Money begins to produce surplus. Small ideas yield large outcomes. What seemed limited expands. The increase will surprise you because God is removing the spirit of scarcity and releasing a principle into your life that multiplies seed into harvest. It is not luck. It is not random. It is a divine ordinance working with wise choices you already made. You will feel a new breath in your finances. Opportunities will show up that don't make sense by your old logic. Simple shifts will generate unexpected returns. But this gift asks for consciousness. Receive it with gratitude. Manage it with wisdom. Let your first responses be stewardship and generosity. Your increase carries purpose to bless your family, your community, and those still in need. Slow down. Breathe. Believe. The multiplication has begun, and you will not be the same. This is a transformative season, a time to honor what you were given and to prepare to sustain what is coming. What is the single faithful thing you did when you had little? Share that in the comments below. Your answer might encourage someone else. Stay with me. In the next video, we'll explore how to steward this new increase so it endures and blesses many. You are stepping into a season, and you can feel the air around you change. Slow down. Breathe. Hear this. God is not merely placing a little more in your hands. He is multiplying what you already hold. Receiving happens in a moment. Multiplication unfolds across a season. Remember the times when what you had barely covered the essentials. You learned to steward those fragments. You learned patience when answers were delayed. You set wise boundaries when once pressed in. Those small acts were not overlooked. They were the training ground. Because you were faithful with the little, God is now entrusting you with more. More that begins to grow on its own, quietly and steadily. This increase will not arrive as a loud, chaotic explosion. It will come as a steady unfolding. Bills that once consumed your income will leave room for surplus. Tiny ideas you almost dismissed will compound into unexpected returns. Opportunities will yield beyond what you dared to imagine. What seemed limited expands. The spirit of scarcity that once whispered, "Not enough," is being removed, and in its place, the principle of multiplication is released. Do not mistake this for luck. Do not minimize it as coincidence. Receive it with gratitude. Tend it with wisdom. Steward it with integrity. The growth you are given carries purpose, not only for your comfort, but to bless others. Small choices now, where you put your time, how you set boundaries, the risks you take in faith, will produce far-reaching fruit. So slow your pace. Let conviction settle in your bones. Breathe again and believe that this is real. You are being prepared to sustain abundance, not merely to have it temporarily. Expect simple things to yield large results, and allow God to do what only He can do. Multiply what you have already offered. Curious about how to steward this season daily? Share in the comments one small step you're ready to take, and stay with me. Next video, we'll explore practical ways to protect and increase what God is multiplying in your life. God is speaking to you now, and this is not simply an increase. This is multiplication. You are stepping into a season where what you already possess begins to reproduce. Money that once just covered essentials now starts producing surplus. Ideas that felt small take root and yield far beyond what you imagined. Breathe. Let that sink in. You have been faithful in the little, even when fairness felt distant. You learned patience, learned to steward what you had instead of squandering hope. Those quiet choices, paying a bill early, saying no to waste, mentoring someone, guarding a boundary, were not unnoticed. They formed the soil for multiplication. Because you cultivated maturity, God is entrusting you with more. This is not a random windfall. It is a divinely ordered increase. Expect opportunities that outpace expectation. A simple decision at the right time will expand into a new stream. What seemed limited will widen. The spirit of scarcity that once whispered, "never enough," is being removed. In its place, a principle is arriving that causes seeds to reproduce, sometimes silently, sometimes suddenly. You will be surprised. You may wake and find resources growing without your constant worry. Receive it with a humble heart. But this gift asks for something of you: awareness. Do not call it luck. Name it. Receive it with gratitude. Manage it with wisdom. Plant it with generosity. Your increase carries purpose: to stabilize your home, to empower others, to sow into what lasts. Stewardship now includes expanding capacity, systems, counsel, boundaries. Slow down and consider each step. So breathe, believe. Let the excitement be calm, rooted in faith. Watch how small, steady obedience blooms into abundance you did not manufacture. Sit with this. What one small thing did you steward faithfully that could now multiply? Leave a reflective comment below. Your answer may encourage someone else. When you're ready, move to the next video and receive the word that guides your next step. You are standing at the edge of a new season, and you can feel it in the quiet places of your heart. God is not merely widening a door. He is multiplying what you already hold. This is not a sudden windfall that comes without context. It is a spiritual season that grows from the faithfulness you have already shown. You learned to steward the small things. You kept integrity when budgets were tight. You chose patience over panic. Those choices were seeds. Now the soil is changing. What once barely covered the month begins to produce fruit on its own. Small streams swell into rivers. A project you dismissed as minor blooms beyond expectation. Simple ideas that you almost let go of come back bearing fruit. You will be surprised, not because God was absent, but because He is lifting the veil on multiplication, a principle that makes increase sustainable and generational. This gift asks for something from you: awareness. Receive without entitlement. Manage without fear. Speak gratitude instead of anxiety. Remember, increase carries purpose. It is not only for comfort. It is an opportunity to bless others, to expand what you steward faithfully. Your margins will widen so your hands can open wider. You may wonder what this looks like practically. It looks like doors you thought closed reopening. It looks like relationships that bring unexpected support. It looks like income streams that compound slowly, then suddenly. It looks like wisdom meeting opportunity. Hold fast to the practices that got you here: generosity, wise boundaries, and humble gratitude. Do not rush. Walk gently into this season, letting God set the pace. If curiosity stirs inside you, lean into it. What is one small thing you steward well that could multiply now? Share it in the comments, a short, honest line. Your testimony may spark hope in another. Stay with this unfolding. In the next video, we will explore practical steps to steward and sustain the multiplication God is releasing over your life. You are standing at the threshold of a new season, not simply an increase that comes and goes, but a quiet multiplication that will shape your days. Hear this: what you already steward is expanding. The small reserves, the careful budgets, the consistent prayers you offered in the night, they are being activated. Money begins to grow on its own, not by accident, but by a change in the spiritual climate around you. Remember how you handled the little things, the late payments you still paid, the wise limits you set, the patience you learned when scarcity whispered doubt. That faithfulness trained you. Because you matured in the routine, God is now entrusting you with more. This is not reward for wanting abundance. It is recognition of readiness. Multiplication comes to those who can sustain increase, not to those who simply dream about it. Expect simple moments to yield surprising returns. A small idea you shelved may suddenly attract partners. A consistent habit, saving a little, giving a little, asking a little, can multiply into a margin you didn't foresee. You'll feel the shift in slow pulses, a check that stretches further, a project that gains momentum, a relationship that opens a door. Do not name it luck. Name it grace, stewardship, and purpose. As your resources grow, remember their divine assignment: to bless, to free, to sow into what lasts. The spirit of scarcity is being lifted. The principle of multiplication is being released. Receive with gratitude. Manage with wisdom. Teach your heart to measure success by generosity, not only by comfort. Slow down. Breathe. Believe. This season will reshape how you plan, protect, and pour out what you have been given. You will not be the same. Curious, what small practice have you kept for years that might be ready to multiply? Share one brief, reflective comment below about what you're willing to steward differently now. Stay with me for the next video, where we'll explore the first practical steps to honor and sustain this season of multiplication. Listen, right now, God is speaking to you about increase. Not a quick gift, not a single moment that passes. He is moving you into a season of multiplication. You know the difference in your bones. Receiving is when something comes to you. Multiplication is when what you have begins to produce on its own, quietly, steadily, miraculously. You were faithful in the little things. You paid attention when bills were tight. You learned to steward with integrity, to set wise boundaries, to wait without bitterness. Those small acts were not unnoticed. They prepared you for capacity. God isn't handing out abundance to make you comfortable only. He's entrusting you with the skill to sustain it, to grow it, and to let it bless others. Expect surprising returns. A simple idea, when tended, may yield beyond what you imagined. A relationship you nurtured may open a door. Money that once barely covered bills now creates surplus. What felt limited expands. The spirit of scarcity that whispered, "not enough," begins to lose its voice. In its place, a rhythm of increase rises, slow at first, then gathering momentum. This season asks something of you. Receive it with gratitude. Name it, steward it, and refuse to call it luck. Manage with wisdom. Pray for guidance. Yes, but also plan and protect. Multiplication wants maturity. It wants your hands and your heart aligned with its purpose. Your increase is not for indulgence alone. It is a tool to widen the circle of blessing. Breathe. Slow down. Let the truth sink in. You are not the same person who worried over scarcity. You are being remade into a conduit of provision. Curious? What is one small thing you will do differently today to steward this increase? Leave a reflective comment below. One act, one choice, one promise. In the next video, we'll explore practical steps to steward what multiplies, so you can stand steady as bounty arrives. You have entered a season that feels different at the cellular level of your life. Breathe slowly. Feel the solidity beneath your feet. God is not merely placing more in your hands. He is activating the law of multiplication in the soil you've already tilled. What once just made ends meet will begin to produce fruit on its own. Small accounts begin to whisper potential. Tiny investments, patient boundaries, thoughtful choices, they start to compound in ways that surprise you. You were faithful in the little, even when it seemed unjust. You paid attention to stewardship when no one applauded. Those quiet disciplines, saying no to impulse, saying yes to purpose, guarding time and money with intention, have matured you. Because of that maturity, God is entrusting you with a different kind of increase. Not chaotic abundance, but sustainable multiplication. This is a season that expects you to manage with wisdom as much as it invites you to receive with wonder. Do not name this season luck. Do not dismiss it with casual words. Receive it with gratitude and steward it with humility. Set aside first fruit generosity. Let your increase bless others. Protect the margin that makes new growth possible. Teach your family and your circle what wise multiplication looks like. Let your financial life become a channel for blessing, not merely a comfort for you alone. Slow down. Pray over each decision. Celebrate, but plan. The increase you're experiencing will change your habits, your influence, your capacity to give. Allow the Spirit to guide how you expand. Curiosity. What small seed you planted months or years ago is beginning to bear fruit now? Take a moment to name it to yourself. Reflective comment. Share that seed below. One brief sentence about what you steward faithfully. Your testimony might encourage someone walking through scarcity. Next video, stay with me for the next short message where God will show you one practical step to protect and multiply what He's giving you now. You are stepping into a season that feels almost impossible to describe in ordinary terms. It is not merely more. It is a holy multiplication. What once required your every worry now begins to breathe on its own. Bills that used to tighten your chest now leave room for surplus. Small investments, tiny seeds of faith, begin to bud in ways you did not predict. God is not responding to desperation. He is honoring the faithfulness you practiced when the portion was small. You learned to steward. You learned to wait without losing hope. Those quiet disciplines, the disciplined giving, the prudent boundaries, the patience in prayer, They are the soil where multiplication takes root. The increase you will see is a fruit of that perseverance. This is not luck. It is spiritual arithmetic. A little, wisely managed, becomes much. Expect opportunities that look ordinary at first. A conversation at a table becomes a partnership. A simple idea you almost dismissed becomes a stream. Money begins to grow as if it had its own breath. You will wake and find surprise. Extra provision that arrives in gentle, undeniable ways. The spirit of scarcity is being removed. The principle of multiplication, a deeper spiritual ordinance, is being released into your life. Yet this gift calls you to consciousness. Receive with gratitude. Manage with wisdom. Guard your heart from entitlement. Your increase carries purpose, to bless those around you, to widen the reach of your testimony, to fund God-sized compassion. The season transforms not only your account balance, but your character. Slow down. Breathe. Name one small step you will continue because it honors what God has already given you. Are you ready to see how this unfolds in your finances and in your faith? Share a short comment about what stewardship taught you in the hard season. Stay with me. In the next video, we will uncover practical ways to steward your multiplication so it lasts for generations. You are standing at the edge of a new season. Breathe slowly. Feel the quiet shift beneath your feet, subtle at first, then steady. God is not merely handing you a bigger portion. He is releasing a principle that causes what you already steward to grow on its own. This is not a one-time miracle. This is a season of multiplication. Remember the small things you guarded, the consistent savings, the disciplined choices, the soft no when your margin mattered. You were faithful in the little, and through that faithfulness you learned endurance, wise boundaries, and tender responsibility. Because you matured, God is entrusting you with more. What once barely covered bills now produces surplus. What once felt limited expands. Your resources begin to bear fruit beyond what you could have designed. Do not mistake this for luck. Do not name it chance. Receive it with gratitude, manage it with wisdom, and anchor your heart in purpose. Multiplication carries a mandate to bless others. Let your increase be a conduit. Pay forward hope. Protect someone's tomorrow. Sow into what endures. When money grows, let your generosity grow faster than your comfort. Walk slowly through this change. Make room for prayerful decisions. Set wise boundaries. Invite counsel. Celebrate the surprise without haste. God is removing the spirit of scarcity and replacing it with a culture of abundance in your spirit. This is sacred work and sacred rest at once. Right now, stop and listen. What small, faithful thing are you stewarding that could become your source of multiplication? Hold that thought. Share it below. A short reflection, a single word, a hope. Your answer may encourage someone else who needs the same courage. Curious to learn practical steps for stewarding overflow in this season? In the next video, we'll walk through simple, spiritual practices to protect and multiply what God has begun. Stay with it. The multiplication has begun.